Hello, everybody. Welcome to my talk. I was gonna say thank you for my talk. Welcome to my talk. And it's getting late, so it's kind of dark, but I wanted to make sure I got this in because if I wait for that day, I'm gonna hurry. And I actually made notes today, and I made notes about the book. I read chapter one, and I hadn't finished it, but I started reading it today, see how far I got, because the chapters are longer than the other books. But I started reading and I just went and I got to the end. And I'm like, oh my god. But anyway, let me just start before, because I ran out of time on the other one. But it was a really cool chapter. Um, what was it? Identity. Identity is the name of the chapter. And it started by saying this phrase from, I didn't write down who it was, but maybe I could get it. But the phrase is, it's a sociologist, Charles Horton Cooley, from 1902 wrote. Here is what he wrote. He wrote, I am not what I think I am, and I am not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. And that to me was extreme, because it's crazy because it's true. You're always thinking, because I don't feel that I'm that superficial and all that stuff. I mean, look at me. Because some of what it said was appearance, you know, is that a problem to you? And obviously it's not, because I never do my hair because I don't have time, but I don't feel that I look that anyway. And I won't get ready to go places. I mean, if I'm going to a party, I do glam up and do my makeup a little, but I don't put foundation on. um I'm trying to see if I'm gonna start using it now in my older age to cover some of the imperfections, but I've never done it. I've always just done, if I'm going out, like blush, my eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara. I don't like the foundation because back in the 80s, girls that wear foundation, like you could see like the round here, different colors, and like right here, and I don't want to look like that, so I never did foundation, ever did foundation. And they have new and better things now, so I might do that maybe when I go to parties. But I'm researching, because I I'm looking at Instagram, and there's people that sell different types of makeup for aging skin, and it's not the powder makeup anymore. It's not liquid, but I don't know what it's called, but it's like it's wet. It's wet, and you put it, and it won't go in your wrinkles as much as the powder makeup. It settles. I mean, what my eyeshadow, I could tell, like at the end of the night, it has like settled in my little creases. My daughter got me this thing. What is it? Primer. She goes, "Here, mom, use this on your so then the shadow doesn't go in your." So I use primer sometimes when I have more time, but usually I spend like 5 minutes doing my makeup. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. But that when I read that, I saw it, and I see it like in my kids, like not all of them to an extent. Some of them extremely a lot. Some of them are more like me. Anyway, but we all have a little bit of, oh my god, what is he gonna say? Or, why am I, gonna. We were just talking about this with my family on Sunday, like about cars back in the day when we used to valet. Mike is are just gonna start valet parking now, right? Because they barely started driving. But my husband remembered when he was embarrassed to drive, and his friend wanted a valet, and he said, "Not with that car. Let's go park over there, and we'll walk over." And I never even thought of the car I was driving because I've always, like, they ask me about models of cars and I have no idea. Like, now I know, like, uh, the names, like BMW, this and that, but if you show me a car, I mean, unless I look at the little thingy, I have no idea what they are, or, as long as it gets me from point A to point B, that's all I need, a car that works and gets me there. Uh, but anyway, yeah, people are like that. And so then this chapter talks about that. And one of the major points was our values are defined by what we experience. And what do we experience more than anything? Family. Family. I'm in a huge family and I love being around them, and I love the values that we all have. Just again, just this weekend on Saturday, all my family got together to pay for food they made, to do a little fundraiser and send money to build the the roof on the church from their hometown in Mexico. So they're very giving, and they've sent that value up, on all of us, all my cousins, and then we drop it down to our kids, and it's good to help. It's a good feeling to help. Or we have a lot of birthday parties. We give each other gifts, and I I feel good getting gifts because I feel more than what the gift is. It doesn't matter what the gift is, just that the person thought of you and got you something, and when they were choosing that, they chose it for you, you know? And then, giving is amazing too because you think, oh my God, they're gonna feel this way, or they're gonna like this, or it's gonna be a surprise, or it's just exciting. Giving and receiving, it's all, anyway. And as an example of value, I was thinking, because it gives you, like, do this exercise, yada, yada, yada. And I did a couple of them, but on this value setting thing, it just brought me back to when I was about, I'm gonna say 13, 14, maybe 15. My dad took me on a ride. We lived in Mexico at that time. I lived there for like 2.5 years, um, and he's a farmer and he has land and he plants, crop a lot, not a little bit like in our backyard. No, like he has like several milpas of like 4 acres, and he plants different things. Anyway, I think it was, I don't even know what it was, but he took me on this ride purposely to talk to me. He never talked to me about the birds and the bees. I don't think my mom even talked to me about that either. It was just, I should just know. And I did. I knew. Like, I just knew. And I didn't know the birds and the bees. I just knew stay away from the boys because they're going to make you do things that bring you bad situations, so it's better to stay away from them. I didn't know what the situation was, but I just knew because of, like, the way they talked just by listening to them. So they never actually talked about it, but you just listened and watched and saw how they felt about other people doing things. And anyway, so my dad talked to me about this, which was, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. But my dad took me on a ride to get a check for his hard work. Hard work is something that is just, we have it. And, we gave it down to our kids. My kids, I believe that my kids are very hardworking. All three of them, some more than others, but they all work hard and they're all proud of their money that they get with their hard work. And this is brought down from, how I feel because my dad, made me feel this way. He did this intentionally to talk to me about how he has a part. this was the most important part to me at that time. He has a part of his parents in him. Therefore, I have a part of all of them in me too. And I will be in my children as well, he and all of our ancestors. That was like a mind-blowing moment to me at the time. Like he told me and I understood it and I took it to heart. Like, I am all my people, right? And so, and in telling me that, he was taking me to get paid for a check where he had sold all his crop. And it was a check for thousands of pesos, but it was a lot of thousands of pesos, because it takes them a long time to grow and take care of these plants and, you know, water them and put stuff in them so they'll grow and all that good stuff. And then he has to, negotiate so he could get this money. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. And then finally, at the end, he gets this big check. And he took me and he went in there by himself. He left me in the car. He came back and he says, "Look at the check." And I saw that check and it was a huge check. And he says, "This is all hard work." And then he went to tell me all I just said. You have to plant the seeds. You have to do it with love. You have to take care of it. You have to grow it. You have to feed it in order for it to give you back what you put into it. Yada, yada, yada. I thought it was the most amazing conversation I've had with my dad because I treasure it and I remember it. And I think this is what, this guy, Shetty, was talking about here. The values that they instill in you and the people you hang around most while you're growing are your parents. And that's what they gave me. And then, it goes on to one of the things to do was to write some values and then the origin of the values and if it's true to me. And of course I chose ones that they were there already, but I chose the ones that are yeses to me. So one of them was kindness, and I got that from my parents, and I do think I'm kind and I'm very, all my family, we're very giving and we like to help people in need, and we always do fundraisers to help people that need help that don't have the means. And I think that's kind. And we love each other, and that's kind too. And we help each other, and we're there for each other. Anyway, appearance. And appearance usually is the media, right? And I would say on this one, I put it there because it was the second one, and then I thought, let me pick ones that I say yes to. But I put not really on this one a little bit because, I like how pretty women look and I want to mimic and look like them, I guess. When I go out, do my hair, put a little makeup, I look at myself in the mirror, I like what I see, and then I leave, right? I do not change many times. My husband changes a million times before he leaves. I kind of choose what I want and I make it work. I just make it work. I don't like taking time for my dress or for my makeup because it's just, I don't have that much time, so I don't want to spend a lot of time there. So I just like kind of think about it, grab it, say I want this color, I want this thing, and I do it. And he takes out and leaves a mess with like all the shirts, and then he decides on the shirt, and then he goes on with the pants, and then with the shoes. It's just like, oh my god. Anyway, I think he has that problem more than I do. Anywho, then wealth. Wealth, I don't know what context he's talking about it. Like being rich. I've never, wanted to be rich because, and let me tell you that I just changed my mind by hearing podcasts and other people talk. But I used to think, I really did think that money was evil. So I never wanted to have it. I thought money makes people do bad things because they have the money and they don't know what to spend it on. So they'll go and spend it on drugs because they have so much. So let's try this. And like bad things. But, now growing and being in debt, because if you listen to me, you follow me, I've been in debt for a million years. I got in debt by buying clothes when I was younger, and I like doing things like concerts and going to clubs. I love movement, I love dancing, I love uh, music. I love that ambience. I still do if I see it or go. I love that. I love live music. I just love it. And that's where we spend more of our money. And to me right now as a older person, I would love to be out of debt. And I don't want to be wealthy like, you know, a rich person. I just want to have money when I need the money. I want to have a savings so I have money that I could take if somebody asks me to go somewhere, I just have the money to go. Or if the kids need, something, I don't have to say, oh, let me see how much I have. I just say, okay, let's go and do this and just do it. And I don't even mean like go get, Versace or anything. My kids are not into it, thank goodness. And it, probably trickled down from me. Like, I'm not that into stuff. And yes, they learn from what you show them. And so we're not big spenders, but sometimes I don't have money to spend a little bit, like on school supplies or stuff like that, as they were growing up, and it's ridiculous. I think everybody should have enough money to do the things you need or want to do when you want to do it. Not have them wait for a week or maybe next time. That was my favorite word. Next time. Um, Family traditions, yes, I'm all into the traditions because that makes us get together. And gratitude and health, of course. I'm a health and fitness coach because that's very important to me because I want all my family to be into health and fitness so they could be healthy and live longer because I never want them to go. And gratitude, I'm very grateful for all the things I have and I know consciously that we're living, even if I'm in debt, we're living a lot better than a lot of people out there are. So I'm very thankful for that. And uh, the last thing I wrote here was, what is the value behind choice? OEOs, he says, it's opinions, expectations, and obligations. He says, don't block them out, just filter them. Just listen to opinions, listen, see, like mostly your parents' expectations, and then obligations, and just analyze, filter them, take what's good, and leave what's bad. And so don't block them, listen, but you have choices that you could make. And I love this chapter, and I hope the whole book is like this. With that, I leave you. I'll show you chapter 2 next Thursday. Bye bye. Thanks for listening to me. And what is it? Ring the bell. Join so you can see me all the time.